For millions of years, the waters of Central and Eastern Europe have emptied into the Black Sea. From mountain streams and sluggish plains, they combined to form a great river known as the Danube. People fought on, fought over, and fought against it. It has been trapped, tapped, and channeled, but never completely tamed. My name is Nick Thorpe. For more than half my life, I've lived beside the Danube in Budapest. As the country of my birth, Great Britain, cuts loose from a Europe bruised by Brexit and cut by the coronavirus, I'm staying put. But I'm not staying still. I'm travelling against the flow. This is my journey up the Danube in search of the lost heart of Europe. It all begins in southeast Romania at the delta of the Danube. This is where the great river is split into 3 branches and reaches the Black Sea. Over millennia, the river and the silt from all the lands upstream through which it passes has created an astonishing landscape of rivers, lakes, tree-lined shores and reed beds. I've come here to witness how each life form in this wilderness survives, thrives and flies side by side, and how the people fit into that puzzle. They're a colourful bunch, descendants of priests and pirates, conjurers and conquerors, and strangers like me, who washed up here and liked it so much we decided not to leave. Civilization reached Europe from the east. The art of smelting copper and gold from rock in the heat of the flames, and the art of tilling the soil reached this coast from Anatolia 7,000 years before I built my own fire. Here on the shore of the Black Sea, my journey is about to begin.
There's actually no way to walk along the shore here from the tip of the Danube to the village, so Zuko here has kindly agreed to bring me into the village. It's very early still, but I hope not too early to get a cup of coffee.
This is Sfântu Gheorghe, a sprawling village where everyone and everything revolves around fishing. The morning is still young when the fishermen get back from a night at their nets. The seagulls laugh with anticipation at the prospect of an easy breakfast, and no one grudges it them. Watching them unload their catch, I feel I'm part of a drama reenacted day and night between fish, birds and man, within the fragile ecosystem of the Danube Delta. Everyone plays their part. The men bring in the fish by the barrow load. Their wives prepare the lunch, while the kids kick a ball. There are skills and goals galore in a game which never ends, but is often interrupted. On my first day here, I met Andrei, my first friend in Sfântu Gheorghe.
Tell me something about yourself. Who are you?
I have 10 years.
10 years old. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
very good. And this is your grandfather and grandmother?
Yeah, I love this air. I love this oxygen. It's very clear.
Your English is very good.
Yeah, thanks.
You had a good teacher.
No, I learn English from games.
From games?
Not from
really?
school.
Okay. And your mum and dad, where are they?
On Italy. I have no mom, sorry.
No mum.
I have a dad.
And your dad is in Italy now?
Yeah,
He's working there?
He's working on boats.
When do you see him?
On summer.
Just in the summer?
Yeah.
And Christmas time?
No.
Not
I
at
did
Christmas.
See it.
Really? So it's a long time without him?
Yes. It's a long time. He's not come here to visit me.
No.
Andrei's story is not unusual. Across Eastern Europe, a whole generation is growing up without their parents. They went upriver into Europe in search of wealth this village can no longer provide. Because not long ago, there was a way to get rich in Svantu George, by catching a certain fish which granted every fisher family's wishes. The Svantu George mouth of the Danube has been the underwater gateway for the sturgeon, migrating upriver from the Black Sea for thousands of years. The beluga sturgeon can grow up to 10 meters long, weigh up to a ton, and live 100 years. Its eggs, black caviar, are one of the most sought-after animal products on Earth. But overfishing and the destruction of its habitat by river regulation and hydroelectric dams have driven several species of sturgeon to the brink of extinction. In 2006, sturgeon fishing was banned in Romania, and this village lost the hen that laid the golden eggs. We're on our way now to meet Emil, a former sturgeon fisherman. He's going to show me how they used to catch them. Emil's family has been fishing here for generations, sharpening their hooks and sharing their knowledge.
Ele se ascult, să dispară toată rugina de pe ele, iar vârful trebuie să fie ca vârful de ascuțit.
The sturgeon swims along the bottom of the river, so the best way to catch them is to fix a sort of fence into the bed of the river. As they swim through, wicked hooks catch in their sides. Lesser fish are now the staple diet. Emil's old hooks have rusted from neglect. He's only got them out now to show me the tricks of his former trade.
Drumul la mii de cărlige, chiar și zeci de mii de cărlige. Sunt valuri, sunt curenți și plutele astea nu stau țapene așa. Ele se duc încolo, încoace, se joacă și atunci peștele când trece pe acolo, l-a găsat un cărlig. Îl oprește, el se zbate, se prinde în alt cărlig, se prinde în 3, 4, 5 cărlige, depinde cât este de mare cărligul. Iar oprindu-se în 2006 pescuitul la Sturion, ne-a pus să ne reorientăm spre alte unelte.
I still can't imagine how they could bring these giant fish ashore. A single big sturgeon could keep a family going for months. Its caviar could make them rich.
Hold it like that?
No.
Like that?
What?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay. So hold it like that. Yeah? And now in the...
Așa țipila.
It's already looking pretty sharp to me. I wouldn't like to be a sturgeon on the end of this.
Te duci de sus în jos.
Oh, okay. Further down.
Good. Hey, can I see your hand?
Vrei să te urci cu noi? Stai. Hi, Andrei.
Hi, so cool.
This is your friend.
Hello, Sebastian. Hello. He is with me, and Nick,
I'm here
my
somewhere.
friend, he's with me.
Hi, Andre. It's nice to walk with you in your town.
Yeah.
Round and round in circles.
Smoke on the horizon. Dragon country. Svantu George was named after St. George, the dragon slayer. But was the Danube the serpent in those days, or drought? When Andrei took me to see the two of them, the saint bore a striking resemblance to my young guide.
Here, I think we're going to see a dragon.
I love dragons, but he's not exist.
No dragons. Even here in Svantu George?
He was a legend.
A legend.
A dragon of Svantu George.
St. George here, he looks very young. He looks as young as you.
Yeah, I know.
So, Andre, I should go now because I have a long journey.
all the way up the river. So very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Pescarii din Dobrogea sau nu?
I want to sing in Romanian.
Good. That would be lovely.
Pescarii din Dobrogea, șai lili laila, put pește la Cherhana, șai lili laila, și aruncă plasele, șai lili laila, ca să prindă peștele, șai lili laila, firicel de baltă, peștele se scaltă, șara dimineața, când se lasă ceața, șai lelele, șai lelele.
The words of Andrei's song echo in my mind as I pace the empty streets. The fisherman in the song may be gone forever. I'm leaving this town with a heavy heart. I would have stayed at this meeting point of sea and river, but my journey has only just begun. The ferry sails in the early morning for Andrei's birthplace, Tulcea, the hub at the heart of the delta. Everyone travels by boat in this watery part of the world, which is just as well because there are no roads. The ferries are micro-communities where people meet, drink, talk and doze, or just let their dreamy river carry their thoughts away. To smoke, you have to go out on deck. In any case, it would be a crime to miss the sunrise. Inside, it feels like a village pub, but here the youngest customers seem the worse for wear. Not just the locals smoke here, but the land itself. It's the reed, I'm told, burning in great swathes deep in the delta. The fishermen themselves set fire to it because they believe it improves the chances of the fish to spawn. I don't quite see the connection. For all the cheerful banter on board, each passenger nurses their own hopes and sadness. Daniela has been living and working in England for 7 years. She came back now for the first time for her father's funeral.
He was a fisherman here in Delta. He loved to fish. His dad was a fisherman. Actually, his dad was all his life a fisherman.
And how is England?
It's really nice there for us.
Will you stay there, do you think?
Yes, I have to stay there. I bought a house there.
Will you ever feel at home in England?
Yes, I feel home, but not 100% and not like here, obviously. You know, your heart, my heart is gonna be always here. Where do you live?
I live in Budapest, but I lived there 34 years in Budapest. My wife is Hungarian. I have 5 children.
Wow.
They were all born there,
Oh, nice.
but now they're traveling the world.
Yeah.
3 of them are already gone.
Yeah.
The trouble, it's nice to travel, but it means that the family, all our families nowadays are so scattered.
Yes.
I didn't see one of my children for nearly 2 years. It's a long time.
Life in the delta revolves around Tulcea, the city where the 3 main branches of the Danube meet. Some ships just dock here, others are built in the vast shipyards. Bauxite is processed for aluminium. Romanians rub shoulders with Ukrainians, Vietnamese and Sri Lankans. Others, like the Russians, Turks and Greeks, arrived long ago. Idling on the waterfront, watching the world go by, I heard the strains of a lone violin.
să fac ori muzică de film, ori să devin violonist, adică una din două.
And your interest, Mike, in...
Actually, it's quite funny that no one in my family does art. Spontaneous, that's how I describe my art style. What comes, comes.
It's very different, the art that you both make.
Yeah.
What does Europe look like for you both, looking kind of westwards from here?
Da, e mult mai dezvoltat, adică cel puțin, na.
But you feel European?
No.
No, you don't. But you feel Romanian?
Yes.
And you, Mike?
I'm multicultural. I listen to a lot of music, multicultural styles.
Do you think you'll both stay here or come back here?
Aș vrea să mă mut de la facultate încolo.
To study, yeah. What about you?
I plan on studying graphic design abroad, not here.
And then after studying?
Să stau acolo, adică...
To live there.
To live abroad, yeah.
Yes.
In Germany or somewhere else?
America.
American dream.
Thanks, Mihai, very much. Thanks.
Here on the fringes of Europe, there's a powerful tradition of welcoming and absorbing strangers. But if so many people leave here, why do others settle from the ends of the earth? Anton from Indonesia met his Romanian wife Raluca far from Tulcea, working in the catering trade in Alaska. They decided to move here to make a home with their kids and now run this restaurant together.
And so you decided as a family to come here.
Yeah.
Why Tulcea?
Why Tulcea? Because their family is mostly is here.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Your
a
wife's
single
family comes from
Tulcea. From Tulcea, and it's a single kid. If I bring Raluca to Indonesia, the parent gonna be like staying alone here. So it's okay. We deal with that one.
And how do you like Tulcea? How do you like being in Romania?
It was beautiful, especially in the Delta, Danube, which is I like to eat fish, because mostly in Indonesia, people is eating fish, not eating meat. Yeah, I feel home with
fish in Bali.
Fish in Bali,
here.
yeah, so it's
a different
no problem.
fish.
Different fish, yeah, absolutely. But still swimming, so it's okay.
Do you catch fish?
Yeah,
Do you fish?
yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
With a rod and line?
Yeah,
or...
just a simple. There, even in the like lake there, in the middle of the town, you get some small fish, whatever. But it's interesting, but not like a sturgeon. So you have to watch out.
And I guess Tulcea, this is a pretty multicultural sort of town anyway, isn't it? People from all over the world.
Tulcea, they call Dobrojan area is like mixed Turkish from some Moldovan, Macedonian, so it's more mixed than the other part of the Romanians.
Different cultures live elbow to elbow in the Danube Delta. The Turks controlled this region for 500 years. When their army left nearly 150 years ago, some Turks chose to stay, pledging allegiance to the new Romanian state. One Sunday evening, I stumbled on a gathering of the spectacularly dressed Turkish ladies of Tulcea. They meet every week to celebrate their traditions, eat sweets and sing the old tunes.
What kind of songs do you sing? What are you singing about? What subjects?
Noi cântăm numai cântece de dragoste. Cântecele vechi, foarte vechi, de pe timpul osmanleilor, acelea noi le promovăm. Ca și tinere să știe cântecele, să învețe de la noi, de la cei în vârstă.
Some of their songs are about the Danube. An orphaned Romanian girl meets a poor Turkish lad who wastes no time proposing to her. Marry you, she asks, and wrap us both in this land of homesickness. Between songs, the ladies confess that they've all lost their husbands. But even that is a source of amusement.
Noi toate de aici nu avem soți. Al meu a plecat acum de curând, am 9 luni, și al lui doamna a plecat acum de curând. Restul la fete sunt mai de mult văduve, să știți.
23 de ani, singură. Și eu 26.
Bărbații noștri sunt mineri, lucrează în pământ acolo și nu mai vin acasă. Înțelegeți? Asta e glumă, știți?
So you feel Turkish and Romanian? How do you feel? Who are you?
Una și aceeași persoană, și cu români, și cu lipoveni, și cu macedoni, și cu italiene, cu toate națiile noi suntem uniți. Când se face un spectacol și suntem noi invitați, sunt invitați și celelalte naționalități. Și toți intrăm pe rând, cântăm, ne simțim bine, plecăm, cântăm cu toți împreună, nu avem nicio diferență între noi, să știți. Noi ne împăcăm foarte, foarte bine cu toate naționalitățile. Așa că...
Dar când gândiți, în ce limbă gândiți?
Acasă în turcă și în orașul română.
My wife is Hungarian and my children are half English and half Hungarian. But once my son was asked, when he was quite young, is he more English or more Hungarian? And he replied, I'm 50% English and 100% Hungarian. So tomorrow, actually I will be 60 years old. Yarin altmush yasin dolduruyorum.
Mulți ani cu sănătate, să vă dea Domnul tot ce doriți, zile senine și fericire, la mulți ani să trăiți, la mulți ani să trăiți.
Pretty foggy.
Pretty foggy.
So it's dangerous to go out, I guess, now.
Yes, for the moment, I think we should wait a little bit until it clears out, because, yeah, it can be dangerous.
What's the main danger in the fog? Collision?
Well, in most of the time it's collision with another boat or with something in the water. When you see the other side clearly, then it's probably safe to go. Further down the Danube, it's even thicker fog, so you have to be sure.
Daniel Petrescu is an ornithologist from Tulcea, like his father before him. A jack of all trades and a master of all of them, the perfect guide for the lakes and channels of the delta. And the rare and common birds who make their homes or migrate through here. The fog which hid them all from us was hardly his fault.
Boat, you know.
Really? The
Yeah.
Siret?
Siret, yeah.
It was Ceausescu's birthday yesterday, I remembered. 26th of January.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy. It was stuck in my head. 26th of January. I don't know why I remember that date.
You don't remember your wife's birthday and
Yes,
you
I
remember
do.
Ceausescu.
Yes, I do.
Trying to get to this little lake here. This is one of these places where cormorants begin the breeding and then the next birds are following. Because cormorant nest in the trees, all the herons around here, the spoonbills, egrets, they would nest in these trees. This is the part of the delta which takes most of the sediment, because the oldest part of the delta. This used to be the bottom of the sea, and it's been silted up in the past 10,000 years, 13,000 years. Shallow water, shallow lakes, and also a lot of land where the trees can find a place to grow. What we see, as you have observed, they are chasing the cormorants because they can't fish at this time of the year in this deep water. So they will having this parasitic behavior. They are just stealing the fish from the cormorants that come out from a dive with the big fish, and they can't swallow it in the next 3 seconds. They will get robbed.
Really?
Yes.
Why do the cormorants tolerate that?
Well, they have no choice. It's like it's the larger the bird wins. It's just nature. This species of red-beaked pelican, which is the Dalmatian pelican, you are lucky to be here at this time of the year because this is the only time of the year when you can see this beautiful red beak. This is the breeding plumage of the Dalmatian pelican, which starts breeding right now. In February, he goes on to the nesting site. This is the largest bird in Europe.
I came here in January, prepared for a deep frozen landscape, but instead of ice, found open water, and the reeds not white with frost, but charred black. The fires, lit by fishermen, spread uncontrollably in the dry winters, driven by strong winds that are common in the delta. That's a problem for people who make a living from harvesting reed, like Adrian in the village of Crișan, which stretches along the main channel of the river. He's taking me to a field recently burnt to cinders. Only the willows survived because they're so full of water.
So Adi, this was burning a couple of days ago.
Yeah. You can smell it, it's fresh.
It smells really bad.
Danube River has a very low level this year.
Yeah.
These patches are very dry. If they set a fire, they can go whatever.
Unpredictable.
Unpredictable, because the wind, it just goes everywhere, so you cannot stop it. It's a large area and they have no chance to stop it. So when somebody is building a business on reed cutting, harvesting reed, you cannot be sure if you can get reed on time or it's going to be burnt the next day. So this is one of the reasons which people are giving up this business.
Including you?
Including me.
This gigantic machine, Adrian's reed harvester, lies unused in his garden. Since I last saw him, he's switched to organic farming. It's more predictable, he said, but what is predictable in a time of climate change?
And then another bundle and it records off the side. Yeah, I see, yeah.
When I was last here, your son, he was like very small. And now?
9 years old. It's on the school. It's on the school today. So. In his class, there are only 4 people.
4 children. People are not having children, or the families have moved away?
There are not enough young families, so it's not enough to earn from reeds.
No.
Not enough people to come and work here. It's difficult though.
Adrian's village, Crișan, is turning a sharp bend from fishing to tourism. But tourists are harder to catch and keep, with a shorter season for spawning. Adrian has some new neighbours to contend with, a protected species, the golden jackal. Jackals love the warmer weather and have spread into the delta from the Balkans. From here, they travel north, beside the Danube to Germany, and from there all the way to the Baltic. Farmers don't like them because they eat domestic animals.
My opinion is the jackals are too much protected, because as you know, in the biosphere reserve, everything is forbidden for hunting. It's strictly protected, but they have no chance to manage the numbers of the jackals.
So what's the solution?
The solution is they have to keep the numbers down.
Which means you and other people shooting them?
In any case, they should avoid to let them spread too much, because it's affecting the wildlife. And finally, the biosphere reserve is about wildlife, birds especially. they are not scared because they never heard about gunshot and things like that.
I mean, they never harm people, do they? But you...
Not yet.
But some people are genuinely fond of them. The man with the megaphone is Christy Pop, head of the large carnivore programme of the Worldwide Fund for Nature. He's come here to talk to them, or rather howl at them. When they howl back, he estimates their numbers. They're more enthusiastic than wolves, he explains, like he is.
I have a megaphone here. This will help us to call, let's say, the jackals. And since the jackal is territorial, they will most probably reply. They will say that, look guys, I'm here, this is my territory, so go away, something like that. The jackal is in the top of the food chain. So the ecological role is very important. In the last 2 or 3 years, we had quite a situation here with the swine flu. So the jackal was playing the sanitary role, and the jackal ate all the carcasses. They contributed in a way to limiting the spread of the virus.
We're getting closer to Karaorman, yes, which means the Black Forest in Turkish. That's a good place to find jackals?
That's a good place. We managed to record jackals there, I think, in at least 70% of the cases. So this is actually a thermal camera. It's really a nice tool because you have the chance to see the animals. So if you have a look through the camera, you will see me because I'm warm.
Yeah, you're very bright.
You can really detect any kind of heat.
Do we need to be very quiet on the boat?
We need to be quiet, exactly. We don't need any kind of light. And then I will start, performing the howling. In many cases, they are approaching the boat, so they are coming on the shore, so you can really spot them. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, okay?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
As darkness descends, they watch us by starlight. Imposters, they growl. We feel their presence.
Which direction?
So I guess they're watching us now. Do you think? Because he was pretty close there. Yes. It's a beautiful night.
Yeah, it's a perfect night actually for January, end of January.
After a night spent hunting jackals, I woke early to search for new prey. Fishermen, the rock stars of the delta, rich in stars but bereft of rocks. Far from the villages, deep in the reeds, I found an island where they live like the banished. They only go home when their boats lie low in the water with their silver harvest.
La fiecare setcă din asta se pune o sticlă sus. Și a fost gheață și când a plecat gheața a mânat-o vântul și ne le-a dragat, ne le-a tăiat. Și atunci pe fund și ia mizerie. Dacă terminăm asta până de seară, e bine. Mâine aia, păi mâine asta.
Untangling the net all day, I mean, it's an endless task. I can't imagine how many meters long these nets are. So it's a hard life, a very hard life.
Yes. Dacă n-am învățat carte, nu ne-am făcut directori. Pește, parcă nu simți munca, dar dacă iei mizerie și nu prinzi nici pește, e greu.
Eu sunt Nicu. Nicu. Două Nicu.
La ora 5 dimineața m-am trezit, am băut un ceai de fructe, uite acolo, fructe de pădure. Am venit înapoi, fac mâncare la băieți, că suntem mai mulți aici. Și eu dorm aici și în caz de am musafiri, mă primesc acolo. Deci, traducere, nu știu să le traduc.
License, authorization for commercial fishing. Different authorizations, different kinds of fish that they're allowed to caras.
Do they pay you a fair price for the fish?
Eu, 3 lei ne dă pe kilo de caras și în țară îl dă cu 7 lei.
So Vasily and the other fishermen here get less than half a euro for 1 kilo of caras, but it's sold in the markets for 7. The markup is like that, but the poor fishermen here getting very little for it.
Vă arăt acolo. Mergem acolo și vă arăt ce am prins azi.
Stuka. Pike. Caras. These are all the fish from this morning.
No one can catch sturgeon anymore because it was banned, right?
Oh, ilegal, nu. Deci la Ucraina se pescuiește, în România e posibil.
Do you like to live here, Vasile? And what's good about your life here?
Nu ne place viața. Nevoile. Sărăcia ne face. Forța.
There's some good things, though, about being a fisherman in the delta. Maybe the quiet, the fresh air.
Nu. Aer curat, da. Aici, da. Asta, da. Cu aer curatul, da.
Some crabs, wow. Look at these. Well, they're not actually crabs. They're like shrimps, or giant shrimps. This one's still alive. That one's still moving in there. Wow, it's still alive, this one. Whoa. Look at the little eggs in there.
That's good?
Wow. I'm not going to do that.
Vitamina. Vitamina.
It tastes good. Wow, I'm really not going to do that. The sturgeon dogs my footsteps on this journey like a mythical being, like a mermaid once glimpsed between the waves, never forgotten. And the memory of the sturgeon and the wealth she once brought hovers over the delta. To see her myself, I visited the aquarium in Tulcea. The sturgeon is the oldest fish on Earth. At 200 million years old, they've been around at least 4 times longer than humans. And fossils show they haven't changed at all. The original design was perfect. An armored fish, all cartilage.
Outside, they have a skin like a shark skin.
So if you feel it, if you put your hand on it,
yes,
it would
feels
cut
like
your fingers.
Sandpaper, yes. So it will take away your skin. And also they are armor plated with some bony plates, which are very tough. And inside they don't have bones, they only have cartilage.
I'm not sure if I like them. I respect them, I think. Yeah, look at this one.
They need special places to spawn. So they need an area which has no mud on the bottom. They need like a clear bottom where they can stick their eggs. And unfortunately, people know about those places, and this is where they catch them. So they are quite predictable in this matter. I'm not sure exactly if they have a bright future if we continue to fish them. There are very few communities of fishermen like the one in St. George, that were making their most of their income from sturgeon fishing. In their case, they might be right with their arguments, but the situation is that sturgeon is dying, sturgeon is disappearing. Since they were using the Danube as a highway to get to the spawning grounds, they used to go 2,000 kilometers upstream. They used to reach Vienna in the old times. So now they are limited to 1,000 kilometers on the Danube, up to the Iron Gates.
So they lost two-thirds almost of the river to spawning.
At least half, let's say, yes, of the river.
After hearing so much about this ancient fish, I wondered about its flavour. Why so much excitement? I haven't eaten meat since I was 17, on the grounds that I shouldn't eat what I couldn't kill. But could I harm such a magnificent creature? Pushing aside my doubts, I travelled back to the Black Sea, to Sulina, a town founded by pirates at the tip of the central branch of the Danube. I've been eating fish for several days now. Carp, pike, catfish, but now, for the first time, here in Sulina, I've found sturgeon on the menu. So that's what I've ordered, traditional sturgeon soup from the Danube Delta. Mulțumesc.
Plăcere. Poftă mare.
Și un pahar de vin alb sec, vă rog.
Da, imediat.
Și apă minerală.
Și apă minerală.
Mulțumesc. Mulțumesc.
Plăcere.
Scuze, de unde este sturgeon? Where is the sturgeon from?
Deci sturionul este de la o crescătorie, nu e de Marea Neagră, e de la o fermă.
Mulțumesc. The ladies just said then that this sturgeon is not from the Black Sea, which was of course banned, but it's from a farm, a sturgeon farm nearby.
Da. Ce nu le-ați spus dinainte să le pregătesc?
Strong taste. A very fishy taste, quite nice actually. Strange feeling though to be eating one of the main characters in this film.
Other rivers are measured from the source, but all distances on the Danube are measured from this old lighthouse. This is mile or kilometre zero. The very first European Commission assembled here in 1856 with a humble aim to guarantee free navigation on the river. Between the lighthouse and the sea stand the gravestones, where the history of Sulina is worn away by the wind. The traces of many cultures are still just visible. The crescent of Islam, the Star of David, and memories of long-lost British seamen.
If we can go through this way, Alex.
What?
Alex, this way, I think.
No, go on.
This way, okay.
At first sight, in his hoodie, Alex might be a ghost flitting between the gravestones. But I soon realise he's actually the master of this place, like an older brother to Andrei in Sfântu Gheorghe. Alex is 13. These Delta kids are wiser than their age.
Look.
Where?
Nice?
It's a jackal? Jackal?
Yes, jackal. Aici avem un copil care a murit la vârsta de 2 ani din cauza efectelor climatice, adică ploaie și ceață în același timp. După aceea, după câteva minute, a venit o caniculă foarte mare, având în vedere că corpul unui bebeluș de 2 ani maxim trebuie să suporte o căldură până la 20 de grade. Și atunci erau 25-30.
Do you have a favorite story or favorite gravestone here?
Deci, acest pirat a fost ademirit de către 2 frați într-o capcană de-a lor. Iar legenda sa încă rămâne. Când este roa dimineții, trebuie udată această plancardă cu apă de la mare. După ce o udați, apar niște inscripții care vă arată locul și data comorii. Dar problema este că aici începem noi, dar trebuie să mergem șerpuit fix pe aceeași urmecă ale lui, până la colțul plăjii, unde este noua stație de cercetare. Următorul mormânt care aș dori să-l fac este acesta, pentru că, după cum vedeți, nu prea mai este într-o stare cum era pe vremuri. Cel mai important de făcut este să cumpăr ciment, să-l fac în niște cărămizi și după aceea să bag aici sub el, să le lipesc. Am avut o profesoară foarte bună, pe nume doamna Iriga. Am fost de câteva ori cu ea la ghidaj, la prezentare. Mi-a plăcut cum povestea, inclusiv că i-a aflat că mi-a place foarte mult istoria. Când m-a văzut că niște oameni m-au întrebat despre un anumit mormânt, le-am spus toată povestea asta întreagă. Și m-a întrebat, ai dorit să fii ghidul cimitirului? Am zis, bine. Oricum, nu am prea ce să fac acasă. Și sunt ghid aici la Sulina de vreo 3 ani. Am 13 ani, ceea ce mă face pe mine să stau în acest oraș este istoria și frumusețea lui, ceea ce este cel mai bine pentru un oraș. Și despre Sulina ce aș mai putea să spun, este cel mai estic punct din România, un oraș uitat de lume.
The name Sulina or Sol Luna contains both the sun and the moon. And like them, she disappears, then reappears from behind the clouds. In these ship-haunted streets, there are puddles of light, islands of warmth and love in wintry windows. It's a town always waiting for spring. For millions of years, the waters of Central and Eastern Europe have emptied into the Black Sea. From mountain streams and sluggish plains, they combine to form a great river known as the Danube. People fought on, fought over, and fought against it. It has been trapped, tapped, and channeled, but never completely tamed. My name is Nick Thorpe. For more than half my life, I've lived beside the Danube in Budapest. As the country of my birth, Great Britain, cuts loose from a Europe bruised by Brexit and cut by the coronavirus, I'm staying put. But I'm not staying still. I'm travelling against the flow. This is my journey up the Danube in search of the lost heart of Europe. The joy of going upriver against the flow is that you always feel like an explorer in search of the hidden source. So as the Danube flows north, here in the Dobrogea region of Romania, I travel south, discovering this strange land trapped between the river and the Black Sea. Constantly whipped by the wind, short of rain, short of trees, it's not an easy place to live. I want to find out why people stayed here, why they settled, and how they survive. How the wind and the weather shape their culture and their character. Most of all, I'm interested in the choices they make, how they remain free, and how they retain their dignity and their identity. Each man and woman, I realized, is a castle. Just south of the Danube Delta stands the fortress of Enisala. Once Genoese merchants used it to control shipping out on the Black Sea.
But times change. The fortress lost its importance as the bay here silted up and even lost its connection with the Black Sea. So now this has become an inland lake. The Russians, in their war against the Turks, ordered all remaining fortresses to be knocked down, but they left this one alone because it was already a ruin then. Ironically, that means that it's the last remaining medieval fortress in this part of eastern Romania.
I cross the Danube by ferry again and again. This river is like a compass, guiding me always westwards. Somewhere here, concealed by the folds of this land, is a place which was kept carefully hidden by the communist regime in Romania. Europe's last leper colony at Tihilești. They couldn't bear to admit that there was an illness even they could not cure, but it can be kept at bay. Vasile's parents, both lepers, met and fell in love here. His father taught him to prune vines, though he had no feeling in his fingers. That makes it a dangerous business.
Eram în vacanța de primăvară când se tăia via, mi-a dat forfica în mână și ia, stătea lângă mine și îmi spunea: o tot tai pe aia, faci pe aia, dregi aia, acolo lași așa, acolo faci așa, acolo socești așa. Păi, dar vorbesc, mai sunt puncte care nu ai simți în organism. De exemplu, uitați, uite la mână, nu am avut simți când am băgat lemne pe foc, pe exterior, pe interior am simți, dar pe exterior nu am avut simți și m-am fript la sobă. Poftiți. Sunt puncte. Nu-i de corpul total de sus și până în jos. Cățeaua mea.
Acum e.
Gata, păica. Gata. Gata, gata.
She's a good dog.
Leprosy affects each person in different ways. To put it crudely, different parts of your body stop functioning or fall off. But the heart stays in place. Since freedom returned to Romania, they could leave if they like, but they chose to stay with one another. This community was once 200 strong. Now it's down to the last 9. Each resident of the colony has carved out their own nook or cranny. I'm on my way to visit Euphemia. She can't make it down these steep steps anymore. But in the grey afternoon, she's like a brightly coloured bird. Neither the unexpected arrival of strangers nor the invasion of technology ruffle her feathers.
În baie. Într-o baie, după la... Pacea Domnului!
Pacea Domnului! Ce face sora Ima?
Te rog frumos să nu mai suni, nu mai suni că am din străinătate cu filmul la mine plină casa. Te rog frumos.
Bine, bine.
Așa, mă suni pe urma, pe la 5-6 acolo, dacă se afli, dacă... Asta nu mă cunoaște. Am luat un număr la cineva și vreo 3 ani de când mă sună fiecare zi. Am Biblia, Biblia am acolo, am și semnul, că acum nu văd.
Proverbs 15, verse 15. Toate zilele celui nenorocit sunt rele, dar cel cu inimă mulțumită, mai bine puțin cu frică de Domnul. Decit o mare bogăție cu tulburare.
Știe Domnul.
Sanitate! La revedere!
Next stop, the Lepers Clubhouse. Vasile's homemade wine has fueled many conversations here, but today I've been challenged to a more sober contest. England versus Romania.
Looks like we're playing for money, so I'm putting in some as well here. Okay. I'm black or white? So I'm white. Very good. Okay, the money is yours. Good.
Nu pot să aduc eu euro aici, 6 luam euro. Dacă aș câștiga eu toți banii ăștia, aș lua o englezveică.
Why an English woman, not a beautiful Romanian woman?
Româncii sunt cele mai frumoase. Pentru că, mai ales partea asta altă a Moldovei, oltencele, așa, sunt, zici că sunt făcute la inel, dar ele cred că face școală pentru așa ceva, să iasă frumoase, se pectează, se ciuclesc, se taie. Până când sunt normale, adică naturale. Și sunt mai bocci, așa, nu pot să spun. Așa că dezvoacele voastre sunt foarte...
Humbled by such meditations on beauty in the lepers' colony, I didn't have to travel far to discover more proof of Romania's wealth.
That's really warm and very creamy, straight from the goat. I don't think I've certainly never tasted milk this fresh before, but it's actually delicious. Yeah, if this was a cappuccino, one wouldn't need any coffee in it.
Nature had another big surprise in store for the next leg of my journey. Also white, but not quite so tasty. The snow suddenly arrived, and conditions began to resemble the bitter cold winters of the early 1950s, when political prisoners dug this canal with their bare hands. In memory of the martyrs reads the inscription on the monument at Poarta Alba. When the communists seized power in Romania in 1948, political prisoners, class enemies of the dictatorship of the proletariat, were sent here to be exterminated. This was the Romanian Gulag. The prisoners lived and died in 10 camps, digging what was supposed to be a shortcut from the Danube to the Black Sea. Today, this monument, like their sacrifice, seems almost forgotten. While the newsreels spoke of the building of state socialism, they didn't show the reality. Underfed, overworked men and women sacrificed on the altar of industrial Romania. But one witness, at least, always survives to tell the tale.
Era o iarnă grozavă. În 50-51 până în 52 aveam troiene până la nivelul gardului. Eu, părerea mea atunci de copil, am zis că vroia să facă canalul. Da, îi căra cu căruța morți, neștiind că Dunărea era foarte adâncă, mulți dintre ei au murit în Dunăre, când vroiau să evadeze. Copilăria mea a fost aproape zilnic în Columbia, că tatăl meu era căruțaș și intram cu el, ducea pâinea la deținuții din Columbia. Pâinea care era zilnică și alimente pentru bucătărie. Cea mai urâtă imagine este că ne ducea de la școală să dăm spectacol la deținuții din Columbia. Când noi cântam pe scenă, în sală deținuții plângeau. Și mă întrebam, dacă cânt eu, de ce plâng ei?
The first attempt to complete the 65-kilometre canal from Cernavodă to the Black Sea was abandoned in 1953, then restarted in the early 1970s by Nicolae Ceausescu, Romania's second post-war dictator. In 1984, the canal, which cost so much human suffering, was finally completed.
Eu de multe ori zic că în canalul ăsta e numai sânge ale deținuților și lacrimile familiilor lor.
Ceausescu and his wife Elena ruled Romania for 24 years. With the feared secret police, the Securitate, they imposed an iron grip on society. As a reporter in this region, I visited Romania several times, but when I applied for an interview with Ceausescu in 1988, I was told that the president is not in the habit of giving interviews in the prison cell at the airport, which is as far as I will get if I ever try to enter Romania again. But here I am, free as a bird. His megalomania, the personality cult he built, and the cruelty of his rule, when almost all food produced in Romania was exported, and the population literally starved to death in their bedrooms, did not endear him to his people. Whenever he could, he travelled abroad. One Romanian joke from that period spoke of the 3 T's: Lenin, the great titan, Stalin, the great tyrant, and Ceausescu, the great tourist. He was also a hunter, with a taste for the good life, especially when it came to wine.
Marius, there's a certain irony, isn't there, in your own personal history that you escaped from the Ceausescu dictatorship in the 1980s. You came back here to Romania, to your home country in the 1990s, and you ended up in the 2000s, and later 2010s, buying a vineyard with a helicopter pad where the man you escaped from, who you fled from, Nicolae Ceausescu, this was one of his favorite vineyards, wasn't it?
He liked it here. We have a cellar here where he used to come, and a small room at the entrance in the cellar where he used to stay, because it was not always that he liked luxury, and sometimes he liked...
He was a simple guy. He was a peasant, really, from a village.
Yes, yes. He had his good parts and his bad parts, okay?
A lot of bad parts.
No, the bad parts, unfortunately,
were very
bigger.
Enough to force you to leave your own country and risk your life to escape from his Romania.
Well, but I'm the winner in the end. I'm sure that nobody wants to leave the places where they were born, where their life was, unless there is something very dramatic happening. And of course, this is the danger of losing life or maybe freedom. Like in my case, the communists didn't like my free speech, let's say, and they always threatening me to, and I decided to leave.
And you were 27 years old at the time?
28, actually, yes.
As I remember, you got on the boat in Constanța, you sailed to Bosphorus, so you're hidden near the funnel of a ship, and then the ship arrived in Istanbul on the Bosphorus. What happened then?
It was night, 11:30 at night. And I was quite scared because it was about 20 meters high, the deck. And yeah, the water looked scary and very turbulent. All of a sudden, somebody turned on a light in my face. But I saw them moving towards me, and I had to make a decision. So I decided to jump. I said I better die than they catch me, because then it means I'm very stupid to have done so many things and then be caught at the end. But finally I managed to arrive on the shore, and I laid down and started laughing, relieved and also shivering because I was very cold and very tired, but happy.
One reason why Ceausescu may have liked the wines of Niculitzel was that it resembled his own name, Nicolae, and that of his son, Nicu, which also happens to be my name. The vines still grow in the valley of the Danube, even on these north-facing slopes opposite Ukraine. The Danube creates its own microclimate.
The Danube acts as a temperature regulator. and humidity source. In the morning, in the summer, it's quite moist, and this is...
So it never dries out here?
Well, it dries after the first hours of the morning. That humidity disappears. But this is important because it's a dry area in general with low levels of rain during the year. And this humidity somehow helps maintaining a healthy wine.
Marius returned to Romania in the 1990s after the bloody revolution which toppled the Ceausescus in December 1989. The Ceausescu couple tried to flee by helicopter from the roof of the Communist Party building, but they were caught, then executed on Christmas Day. 18 years later, Romania joined the European Union. South from the Danube Delta lies Babadag, separated from the sea by a lake. It's home to a large Roma or Gypsy community, part Muslim but increasingly evangelical Christian, balancing precariously on the periphery of both communist and capitalist Romania. This is Alina. Despite her youth, she's played a central role in winning EU funds to help the poor in this town, especially the children, with extra classes after school to stop them dropping out.
Majoritatea copiilor romi rămân acasă, părinților pleacă în străinătate. Sunt cazuri foarte triste, să spunem așa, în care un copil de 10-11 ani se ocupă de frații lui mai mici.
Moș Crăciun cu pete albe a sosit din Plimaneț și-și ne-aduce daruri multe la fetițe și băieți.
And what about fish? Do you like eating fish? And how do you like to eat fish? Do you like it in a soup or do you like it fried fish? Fried, fragit, yeah, okay. Could I ask around the class, whose parents are abroad now?
Cei care au părinții plecați. Cei care au părinții plecați. Părinții, doar părinți. Dacă aveți acum părinții plecați, spuneți sus. Așa.
His father is in Switzerland.
In Sweden or in Switzerland? Sweden. In Stockholm. Oh, okay, fine.
Sometimes the poorest people on this planet, the barefoot people, laugh more than those with all the money they need. If you look closely at the walls, you might recognize Father Christmas, a life full of extremes of happiness and sadness. In their Europe, the richer countries of the West provide a precious lifeline, without which they might drown.
It's very clean and very warm, but it's also very small. I mean, where do you all sleep?
Da, copii dormi pe și noi cu ăștia doi mici fără noi nu dormi și dormim jos.
What about work? Is there work here or do you travel abroad to work?
Mă duc în Portugalia. Stau o lună, două acolo, mă întorc iar stau. Se face niște piețe acolo, știi, la târguri din astea, știi? Și am oameni care mă cunoaște ani de zile acolo și descarc în car, știi? Le descarc ei, fac mesele astea, 10 euro, seară și dimineața. Îmi convine mai bine Europa, adică în Portugalia. Sunt mai considerat acolo față aici, în România. Nu le-am lăsat singur, nu le-am lăsat fără bani. Unde am fost, le trimiteam că e 100, că 200 de euro, că 50 de euro, că ce făceam, trimiteam acasă să aibă de mâncare acasă, știi?
Until recently, girls in this Roma community were married off by their parents as young as 12 or 13. The aim was to protect them from other men. Now that is forbidden, their fathers take them out of school, afraid what may happen if they are left unattended.
Nu e vorba de nu că nu vreau eu să le las. Dar tradiția noastră știi care e problema? Dacă gata a văzut fata la 15-16 ani deja, o agață după drum. Deci chiar și poliția nu face dreptate, știi de ce? Așa e tradiția la voi. Când te duci să declari că mi-a furat fata și nu știu ce, voi vă împăcați între voi, du-te la el și împăcați-vă.
I've visited so many Roma communities in Eastern Europe in the past 30 years, seen so much work to help them help themselves, so much compassion and contempt. But so many initiatives run into the dust. They're great survivors on the fringes of the modern world, but always on the fringes. One explanation of the name Dobrogea is the good land, sculpted by the wind. In lands like these, around the Black Sea, men first tamed horses. Now the turbines stand like cathedrals to man's ability to tame the wild. But who prays at their feet, who praises them, and who is plagued by doubt? Ornithologist Daniel Petrescu questions the need for quite so many turbines on the main migration route of millions of birds to and from the Danube Delta.
This is a good thing for the nature, but it has to be implemented more environmentally friendly.
Fantanele Kojelac is the biggest onshore wind farm in Europe with 240 giant turbines, owned by the Czech firm CEZ.
We need to wear this gear in order to go up inside the turbines. It takes a little getting used to. Not sure I'd like to do this every day. It's pretty cold down here at the bottom. Can't imagine what it's going to be like up at the top.
It's going to be windy.
It's going to be windy.
It's hard to describe the feeling walking towards them, like an astronaut approaching a space rocket. Will it take me to distant planets or explode on the launch pad?
Okay, just lay back. Just lay back. Go. Yeah. And like this, and just climb on. Okay.
So now we're going to go up with Alex in the lift, right up to the top. How many meters are we going up?
80 meters.
80 meters. Yeah.
Even the hum of the rotors sounds like the music of faraway galaxies. Even the earth beneath them seems to vibrate. What is that like for the moles and mice and rabbits among their roots? I'm like an insect in a man-made forest, a fly in the ointment, or a spy in the machine.
So we've arrived?
Yeah.
Feels like we're really high up. I feel like actually I'm in the top of a tree, swaying in the wind. How many more meters up here, Alex?
10 meters, something like
10 meters, okay, good. So I'm just going to put my head out of the hatch for the first time here now. After the stress of getting up here, my fear of heights, it's pretty astonishing to finally arrive at the top and to look out over this landscape towards the Black Sea in front of me and the rolling plains of Dobrogea all around.
And you've never been up in one of these before?
No, never. It's my first time now. It's impressive. Technically speaking, it's a marvel of engineering, I would say. If you look at the size of this rotor blade, it's fantastic.
And can birds learn to avoid these? Can they get used to their presence here and dodge them?
Maybe, yeah. Everything adapts, and birds survive millions of years, and they have adapted to different situations we cannot even imagine. But at this point in history, in human history, we have to take care of everything alive on this planet, not only us.
Back down safely on dry land, Mihai Balan of the Romanian Wind Energy Association defends these elegant machines.
It's a very good area for wind development. The potential is very good, and we are in a blessed area for energy because we also have the Black Sea and the resources. Also, offshore wind might be a solution for Romania in the future.
Unfortunately for the birds and for the wildlife, this is also the most dense migratory path in Eastern Europe. It should make it more difficult for the investment. Birds fly over and collide. People say, well, how they collide, because this kind of wind, they are turning so slow. But everybody forgets that this is a 100-meter rotor, which spins like a football field spinning 20 times a minute. So at the tip of the blade, you always have almost 300 kilometers an hour. There is a phenomenon happening in the turbine where the low pressure behind the wing, it's going to suck the lungs out of the little birds and bats, especially bats.
There's this study made in the United States that actually puts wind turbines as the 7th or 8th cause of bird death annually, and I think it's 20 times less than their biggest predator for birds, which are of course cats. Imagine what would happen to the habitat if some fossil fuel power plant would be here instead of this wind park. Nothing is perfect, and we don't see anything in terms of good or bad overall, metaphysically speaking, but certain technologies are better than others in certain aspects, and in terms of impact on wild population, on human life, on birds, wind energy certainly has a benefit compared to other technologies.
This is Adrian's first workday at the wind farm. He's 24 years old and comes from a coal mining community at Petroșani, 600 kilometers away up the Danube. He's left behind a long family tradition deep underground to reach for the sky, here among the wind turbines of Dobrogea.
What I'm leaving behind, it's all, first is my family. The place is where I grew up. I don't know, the mountains, because I love to ski. It was a hard decision because I love my family. They support me all the time, and my friends too. I have some couple of friends that cry for me. I cry too. It was a difficult situation for me. I'm alone here. I'm here alone, so
But maybe more people will come from that area here, but you don't know for sure.
I hope so, because I will try to convince everybody that it's better here than to be in our old city.
The coal mines of the Jiu Valley, where Adrian comes from, were once the biggest in Romania. The river ran black with the coal washed in its waters. Now the fish are returning to be caught by men with no jobs as the mines are closed. Sebastian too was invited to retrain for the turbines, but he's not been tempted so far.
For Adrian, let's say it was properly a golden occasion. He's 24 age, he don't have to support the family. For me, it is a good possibility, but in the same way, it's sad too, because having a family at home, I had to leave them and go working in other parts. We have to be honest, in 20, 30 years, I don't think that we will see coal mine or coal power station in the world. My father worked here, my both grandfathers worked here. My father-in-law, for example, the father of my wife worked here. It brings emotion, and in the same way, it brings us sadness, watching that something that one time put the food on the table, it doesn't exist no longer.
I'm not planning to go back because in my city, in my area, a lot of young people go to bigger city, bigger country, and to build something. It's difficult to live in that zone. So that's why we just fly from our parents, and that's it. We just try to find a better life.
Everyone I meet on this journey is either a migrant or has been touched by a history of migration, as I am. Like birds, we follow our noses, always in search of home. The rich culture of Dobrogea was fostered by the many peoples who washed up or took shelter here. Romanians and Bulgarians, Turks and Russians. These Lipovans settled here 300 years ago. They fled Tsarist Russia in the 18th century to escape religious reforms and found refuge among the Muslims of the Ottoman Empire. Nicolae Ceausescu's brand of national communism did not take kindly to those who kept up minority cultures and languages, even Russian ones. Since democracy returned, they've had less trouble maintaining their traditions, rooted on the muddy shores of the Danube. But freedom has brought new challenges.
So this is your monument to the Lipovan people of this village? Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Deci toată lumea avem câte o cruce.
You all have a cross? Yeah. Okay.
La botez primim câte o cruce, simbolul credinței.
Ei s-au așezat chiar în locul ăsta unde suntem noi aici. Au venit cu bărcile din Rusia. Și cu cățelul, și cu purcelul, și cu copiii, și cu tot. Aici au stat. Căutau zona unde puteau să-și desfășoare religia și portul nostru, care este și acum.
La revedere!
Ocupația rușilor lipoveni de atunci era pescuitul.
Like today?
Ca și astăzi, dar astăzi e puțin diferit. Cu pescuitul se ocupă ei mai în vârstă, ei lanții tinerii, cu democrația asta au plecat afară, pe unde se câștigă mai bine.
The older men's beards are part of their faith. They like to row their boats and shun outboard motors. While the new generation, like Mitya, have discovered the delights of a clean chin, their passion for fishing never fades.
I was born here. I was, for example, make it in the boat. My father, he was fisherman. My mother the same. Here I live. Here my heart they bring me every place. Where I was is good. Is good money. Is good life. When I coming home, I take off my clothes, nice clothes, for example. I take my boots, my boat, and everything in the water. If I not feel water to my leg, to my hand, do I not feel and I not catch one fish, do I make food on him? I not feel him home.
televizor așa. Am auzit că aveți 5 băieți.
Boys?
Aveți
5
minte
boys?
frumoasă în tindești, ne ducem cu asta.
I have 5 boys. 5 boys, yeah. I will bring them all.
Și tradiții frumoase, se vor îndrăgosti de tradiții, vor rămâne, vom combina.
America and Russia?
England and Russia.
England.
England.
Din Anglia.
Я думаю, что Трамп и Путин.
No Trump and Putin. Unfortunately, my country is leaving the European Union, has left. It's a problem for you? No.
For us, personally, no.
No.
Dar probabil cei care lucrează...
Cei care lucrează, probabil unii vor cere, am înțeles că vor cere rezidență acolo sau...
For you problem?
And it's for us a problem. Yes. Yeah, I'm sad.
Why?
I'm crying because I feel European. And Britain is leaving Europe.
Aici, noi stăm aici, nu mai mergem nicăieri.
Poți în Norvegia.
Grandchildren, really, in Norway.
Cața în Londra, Spania. În toată Europa avem.
The great tide of Christian faith still floods this region. In this village beside the Danube at Dervent, I've come to meet an old friend, Father Atal. His father taught him to swim by throwing him into the deep water. It was the start of a long love affair with the river and with God.
M-am născut pe malurile Dunării și am crescut aici. Când plutești în Dunăre, când înnoți în Dunăre, ești practic între două ape. Apele de sub tine și apele pe care nu le vedem, dar există, norii în cer, în atmosferă. Și trecerea aceasta a apelor necontenite și de-a lungul timpului, de-a lungul vieții mele, m-a făcut să înțeleg că viața repede trece și contează numai ce rămâne. Noi români avem o vorbă și cred că nu numai românii. Apa trece, pietrele rămân.
Nu, repede, trebuie. Oui, un peu repede.
Hurry up, says Father Andrei, so we rush into something timeless. Outside the ancient chapel, snow muffles all sound. Inside, the spell is cast by the carpets and the candles.
Să devenim noi mai limpezi, ca și Dunărea albastră, să devenim noi lumină și prin lumina noastră să luminăm pe ceilalți. Cât ne stă și nouă putere.
The monks glide through this wintry landscape like crows in their black capes. Atal has lived in the Orthodox monastery at Dervent for 23 years. The monastery itself is young, built in the 1930s, but on an ancient site. While one of the brothers brightened up the snowy cemetery, Atal took me to see the monastery's treasures. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, joked Jesus, knowing full well it all belongs to God.
Dans le Danube. So Father Atal was just explaining that these gold coins from the Roman era were found in or very near the Danube here. They include some from Marcus Aurelius and other Caesars, and they were found just on the island here, La Soirée, close to the monastery here.
studiat, început psihologia, am avut o viață cum au toți oamenii. Studiind, punându-mi întrebări, uneori găsind răspunsuri, alteori nu. Sunt născut într-o familie al cărui membru superior, tata, a fost crescut în doctrina comunistă. Născut în 48, a ajuns membru de partid comunist. Era activist însărcinat cu propaganda, am avut o educație și ateistă și comunistă. Din partea bunicilor era una creștină, adică măcar formal eram creștin. Undeva pe la 16 ani am simțit nevoia să mă duc să mă spovedesc la preotul care m-a și botezat. Ce s-a întâmplat în mine atunci nu știu, dar știu că am decis să încerc să duc o viață cât mai așezată în duhul creștin ortodox aici.
What did your father think of that decision?
Mi-a spus-o înainte de a muri, pentru că acum 4 ani de zile a decedat. Încă vreo 8 ani de zile a așteptat să mă întorc acasă, din Dervent. Apoi s-a convins că sunt hotărât să merg ferm pe această cale.
Some monks, like Father Atal, came to the monastery here early in life, others late. Father Bartolomeu was a car mechanic for 46 years. Now he's the oldest bird in the nest. My last supper in the monastery, breaking the bread. The monks pray many times a day, and you realise after a while that this is real work too. Hard work, like cutting your way through the undergrowth. There's freedom here too, I realised, and an unexpected strength in the solemn repetition of the old rituals. Bright and early, I'm heading for the gate. The river beckons me always on. During the night, the snowplows carved out my escape route. Upstream, there are new people to meet, new dishes to taste. A final gift from the monastery, a packed lunch of river herring, freshly smoked. And this morning, the Danube is more beautiful than ever, like a fish turning from blue to silver in the brilliant sunlight. The Danube shoulders her way through a world constantly transformed, unchanging in the midst of change. The hard shift from communism back to capitalism in Eastern Europe made many fortunes and created many victims. The iron ore, which arrives by ship in Danube ports, is transformed into steel, then back into ships to transport softer goods up and down river. Copper is more flexible, softer to the touch. In this episode, I'm travelling upstream through Bulgaria and Romania, where the Danube dresses in her best clothes to prepare for the mountains ahead, and communities carve out their own happiness. southern Romania to Ruse, just on the Bulgarian bank of the River Danube. I can't wait to see the old river again. The city of Ruse is named after the red hair of her founders. Stainless steel birds fish like cormorants on her shore. Ruse glitters like a wristwatch on the arm of the Danube. The first bank, the first brewery, and the first railway in Bulgaria were all built here. It's a city with wide open spaces, with one eye on the glorious past and the other on a fantastic future. The question is always just how to get there.
What your placard says?
It actually states that I'm not gonna immigrate. You're the ones who are leaving. And when I say you, it's the politicians. A lot of projects have been happening in Bulgaria thanks to the European Union throughout the years. And I'm just sick of what a big percentage of the money that comes into the country is being stolen.
Ruse is famous as a very European city now.
We do have a lot of tourists that come with ships, mostly from Germany or Austria or any part of Europe. I believe you're English. So I'm actually curious to know what brought you here. And
I'm traveling up the river. I'm making a series of films about the River Danube, looking for the lost heart of Europe.
Oh, that's very
nice. That's why I thought I'd ask you about Europe and what Europe means to you.
Thanks to the European Union, I went to Sweden and I lived there for 5 years. I studied for free. And after that, I was working and I was paying for other people's education. So it's a tax-based system. But thanks to the European Union, I got to go there. And there's no borders nowadays. And I have friends from every corner of Europe. We all speak English to each other. So yeah, that's what being European means to me.
Don't lose heart, we say in English. What a strange phrase. The heart is always in place, even when you can't feel it beating. I'm worried that Britain leaving Europe will wound this union of peoples. The lost heart is what will heal the disputes between them and make the long journey worthwhile. And the Danube is my chosen guide.
It's good to get back to the water again after a long journey. Actually quite warm, but a long way still to go upriver.
The Romans valued Ruse for its winter harbour because the waters never froze. It boasts the biggest port on the Danube in Bulgaria. Many of the great shipbuilding yards from communist times have closed. But the great river fleets, old ships and new, need constant repairs. The Soloist 2 is a giant beast of a boat with a 980 horsepower engine, nearly as old as I am. Georgi and his men have just finished refitting her. I've been invited for a quick spin on the river.
Das ist so wie ein Auto, man muss immer lieber auf der rechten Seite gehen, oder nicht? Ja, immer auf der rechten Seite und die anderen kommen auf der...
Das ist nicht Auto. Auto gibt Bremse, hier keine Bremse.
Ja, aber man steuert, ja. Can I try driving? Darf ich probieren? Danke.
Schauen Sie hier.
Ja?
Das ist unsere Autoreise.
Ja.
Diese rote Linie.
It's amazing to think that you can steer such a massive ship, 100 meters long, with just a very small lever. I think I'd feel safer if there was a big wheel here.
Every means of transport seems, well, tiny after that barge. Long-distance travellers like me once left Ruse exclusively by ship. My red modern bus is very comfortable but a little less romantic. The road takes me parallel to the river, westwards. Only fear of the pandemic weighs heavy in an otherwise light-hearted summer.
Yeah, I'm English. Hi. My name's Nick. Who are you?
Boyan.
Boyan. Hi, Boyan. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. That's your mum and dad?
Yeah.
Have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Good. Where do you live in Bulgaria?
Yeah. In Ruse.
In Ruse. All right. Do you already know what you want to do when you grow up?
No. I read some books about the world.
You read books about the world or you write books?
Write books about the world.
About the world?
Yeah.
Wow. At 9.5? Ooh, I didn't start writing till I was 16, I think. So you've made a good start.
Yeah.
So you've written a book already?
2.
2 books? Wow. Are you interested in history?
Very.
Very? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you most interested in history? Which period of history?
The time of the Romans.
The Romans? Mm-hmm.
Constantine the Great.
Constantine the Great.
He built the Christian in Rome.
Yeah, that's right. He converted the Romans to Christianity. So you like Roman history? Other periods of history? Anything about communism?
Yes.
What do you know about communism?
They did very bad things to people who did nothing.
Right.
And they sent people who did nothing to concentrate camps.
Really? Wow.
Some even for 12 years.
12 years.
I need to go.
You need to go now. Yeah. All right. Well, it was very nice to meet you. Yeah. You should go back to your parents. Bye, boy.
Bye.
There's a tendency in Eastern Europe to sweep the communist past under the carpet, but Boyan and I both resist that. I'm here to find out what really happened in the camps. Taco and Sviatko have agreed to come back to show me round the prison island where they spent the most terrifying years of their lives. There's still a prison here, so security is tight, keeping the virus out and the prisoners in. In the 1950s, this island functioned as a concentration camp. 15,000 men and women were imprisoned here, 11,000 of them without ever being put on trial. The mosquitoes ate them by day and the bedbugs by night.
What was this building for?
Доколко се спомням, нещо като столова.
What kind of food did they give you?
Ние беме с преседи,
Един
като
голем казал
затворници.
с 2 боба вътре и смоторедката му.
И, както той казва, с боб вътре, боб няма не, гонецата, той един черпак. И това и ние, като получаваме колети, взимаме повечето маса, за да може да сложим в чорбата малко маса, да бъде по-тлъстичка.
Taco, so many people died here. How did you survive this?
Ние бехме 18-19 годишни и го живеехме много така революционно. Вярваме идеите и това накрепише най-много.
Мас, захар и мас и захар.
What were those ideas? What did you believe in?
Те вярваме в идеите в демокрацията. Те бяха много демократични и много справедливи. В справедливостта на тези идеи вярваме. И сега продължаваме да вярваме в тях, въпреки на тази възраст. Против нас са както Комунистическа партия комунизма. Тя беше единствената опозиционна организация на комунизма. Единствената. Без да се Никола Петков. И хвърля всички сили, мило и драго, само и само да не унищожат.
So
Here is Belene.
Тук сме правили дигата, ето тук. Всеки ден 1 кубик, за да вземеш 500 грама хлеб. Иначе нема. 1 лебе на 3. А ако искаш работи. Как се римува? Но това беше там за наказание, не за това, че правим строителство. Разбираш ли? Защото него доде наводнението го отмие. Това беше с наказателна цел.
Prisoners had to build dikes to keep back the river. Those who died of hunger or overwork were buried in shallow graves. The corpses, which the wild boar didn't eat, were washed away by the Danube floods. The concentration camp closed officially in 1959, but political prisoners were still sent here till the late 1980s.
Did anyone ever escape from here, Sviatko?
По моята информация имаме некъде към 3 човека да са избегали. Иначе всичко е хващано. При опити не може да мине, защото тук, как да му обясна, тук има 2 реда тел, ограда и средата вода, 3 метра вода. Канал, това цялото обиколен. Така че много трудно. После имаше кучета, щом те усети, остават те на кучета да те разкъсат.
How do you feel now, standing up here in this place where the guards used to stand?
Отлично! Отлично, като победител, защото те изчезнаха, ние останахме. Това е богатството на фантазията. Друго няма. Това е върха на техната злоба, на техната омраза. Това е. Това им е края. И все пак ние сме живи, за да опишем историята, какво те са вършили. А не да ползваме лозунга "Надежда всяка оставете".
The former prison camp has been returned to the wilderness, but the survivors insist it also hosts a monument to the hell they suffered. The old regime also threatened this people with assimilation. The Kalderash Gypsies were always the blacksmiths of their people. Their pride in their copper craft kept their culture alive. 3 generations of women tend the fire.
За да може да се калаисва, трябва да се изчисти хубаво, да няма черни работи. Може да опиташ да изчистиш.
Don't have much time to do this. Got to paint the tin around the inside as quickly as we can while it's still very hot. Whoa. Okay. It's finished?
Yes.
Готове?
Готово.
Готово.
Да.
In your family, this always takes place here underneath the walnut tree.
Да. Зиме, лете тук сме.
The
От
autumn.
тук е изхраната на семейството. За да го направя по-хубаво, да бъде както трябва, клиента като дойде да го вземе от мене, да стане доволен и след това той казва на приятелите си, на роднини, че бил при мен, е доволен и те идват. Просто клиентела имам.
You must be very proud to make something so beautiful.
Гордеем се. Дори учим по-малките деца. Например, момиченцето до мене, където е тук. Учим го да търка казаните, да ми помага в калаисването.
Now we're just gonna using sand from the pot here to rub off the sort of what are the burnt parts underneath the copper to clean it up so that we can polish it after that. Can I do some? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, like that. Always in one direction. I think if I've understood it.
А така ще направиш. Ето така. Ръцете ти да играят. Ето така.
Okay. I'll try. Yeah. What's this piece for?
Ами той капака на казана за ракия е.
You could be out with your friends, you could be listening to music, but you're here in the, in the workshop working. Why is it important to you?
Ами аз имам време и за учене, и за излизане, но искам и това, отделям време и за това да се науча.
Ако искаш да пиеш хубава ракия, трябва да го лъзнеш така. Потим да знаеш да тече пот от тебе. А да си го лъзна както ти трябва, че ще дойде някой, трябва да го продам. Трябват ми пари. Ако искаш, може да го продам на тебе, няма проблем.
Because I helped you a little bit with it, I would need a discount.
Няма проблеми, 50 на 50.
How much do you normally sell these for?
За 750 лева. Като за тебе.
So for 700 leather, which is 350 euros. And your husband made this pot this morning or yesterday?
Вчера го е направили, днеска се лъска, за да може да се продава. И това трябва да внимава. Ако му скочи в очите, е проблем. Може и да стигне и до болница.
Yeah, we're not exactly wearing a lot of protective equipment here. I had noticed that.
Готово е, Ник. Виждаш?
Готово е?
Да.
Can I help you carry it
Само
through?
чакаме да взимаме парите и готов е. Ето.
Wow, what a piece. I've got 5 sons of my own, but it's a long time since any of them were this small. I'm always pleased to get an opportunity to hold a little fellow like this one. What's going on? What's that? Should we go and see the birds? Should we go and see the nest with the swallows? Blagodaria. Blagodaria. He's a very good boy. Very good. And what kind of men would you want for your daughters and your granddaughters?
Значи им да са добри. Най-важното да се разбират и да са добри, да не са от тук, от там, от ние къде дърпат по носовете. Да, ама си го казвам, нали, както си говориме сега.
Да са работни, трудолюбиви, да издържат семейство.
What kind of age are girls getting married today and how does that compare with the past?
Вече няма онова време, как беше по на 14-15 години да се женят. А сега вече на 20-25.
В семейството, например, детето, ако иска да кандидатства да учи...
Повече държиме сега за ученето, отколкото от преди.
В кой университет да се запише детето, той където. Имат професия на днешно време. 12 клас средно искат за една метачка, една миячка.
And I see there's ribbons here on there and on the gate of the house. There's ribbons. Did you have a marriage recently here in the family?
На 4 януари сме направили сватбата.
What makes a really good wedding?
Знаеш какво е най-важно при циганите? За какво държат циганите? Булката да бъде чест. Това е нашата традиция. Ако не е честна, няма да я взимаме.
You've still got all the things from the wedding. Beautiful. Yeah. Blagodaria.
Blessed by their good wishes, I soon found a wedding of my own to attend. My real, slim, fast, fantastic gypsy wedding. with a storm brewing overhead, a big band and enough food and drink to feed 5,000.
Can I just say hello and congratulate you on getting married? Yeah, thank you. I'll shake hands again. Thanks. Well, are you going to fetch your bride in a moment?
Първо трябва да вземем кръстници. Не знам как да обясниш.
Get the godfather first.
Of course. Yeah.
Godfather? Yeah, congratulations.
Champion.
Champion.
I'm the Gypsy.
You are the Gypsy?
Yeah.
I'm the Gajo.
We're here at the bride's house in her village. Can you tell me something about her? Presumably she's inside getting dressed, is she?
The bride is a little precious gem. She's 18 years old. She's very beautiful, very smart.
Yeah.
She's like the honor of our family.
Great.
And we are very happy to pay her respect. This is her grandfather, grandmother. This is my wife, I'm her uncle, and that's the cousin. We are waiting here for the husband to take her. We greet the family. We play like a game.
Yeah.
We protect the bride from the husband.
How will you protect her?
We lock the door.
Oh, really?
And he's behind us. We are keeping her.
She's behind you.
She's behind us,
and you're
yes.
protecting the bride, trying to
all
keep...
the family, and the husband should pay her price out, and only then we can let her go with him.
The price. What the bride price is
unknown for now.
She's very beautiful. I guess it's going to be a high
priceless.
price.
She's priceless for us.
Yeah.
She's priceless for us.
But you still accept the money?
We can doubt about that, but the boy is a precious gemstone also.
Of course.
We have much respect for the husband, for the boy.
Good.
We feel him like a part of the family.
Yeah.
So
you know him well already?
He's a very good boy.
Yeah, great.
Неделя бъдеш такова, отпуснете си двамата, супер, виж са, прошепни в окото й имената на деца, на бъдещите ви 16 деца. Ти се усмихваш лекичко заради това хеде. Нема, да зикам се, нали казваш, майски работа.
The word to wed comes from the verb to pledge oneself. What are we committed to in the modern world, I wonder? To our friends, I hope, to our families and communities. And who is our witness? Vidin is known in Bulgaria as a city of love as well as commerce. Like Ruse, it has wide-open boulevards and a promenade by the Danube for lovers to walk beside. It also boasts fine Christian, Jewish and Islamic architecture.
So this is the Heart Mosque in Vidin, named after the upside-down heart on the top of the minaret and on the other buildings there. Different legends why it's called that. They all associated with Osman Pasvantolu, the builder of the mosque. One is that he was in love with a Bulgarian Christian girl. Another that the heart was to honor the memory of his father. Or perhaps it's the lost heart of Europe.
Hotel overlooks the gate to the old city.
It's good to drink a beer beside the river after a long day at a wedding. I've been struck in Bulgaria by the sheer confusion over how to handle the coronavirus pandemic. One can see a city like this almost empty some of the streets, and yet one can go to a crowded wedding. I wonder what it's going to be like tomorrow in Romania.
For hundreds of kilometers, the Danube forms the border between Bulgaria and Romania. But north of Vidin, Serbia takes over from Bulgaria as the river enters the spectacular Iron Gates Gorge. The massive hydroelectric dams were built here between communist Yugoslavia and Romania in the late 1960s, tapping the power of the river as it bursts through the narrow defile between the Carpathian and Balkan mountains.
You've been involved with this project for a long time.
I'm working here since 1989 when I finished the faculty. At that time it was somehow proud to be an engineer in Iron Gates 1. And this was something that I wanted since high school. I learned from those people at that time when I was engaged that this is the most important thing to work on such a project, on such a hydropower system. Everyone was proud of that, and this feeling I'm still having, and I wanted to transfer to the next generation somehow.
Someone came with a project like this today. Do you think the project would get permission?
It should get permission. It was very difficult to navigate in the Iron Gates gorges.
Because they're so narrow and the water...
Narrow. It was during the high water season, mostly it was very difficult. So it was really necessary for the development of the society to have navigation in this Iron Gates area.
But the cost of the dam was very high for the communities living either side of and even in the middle of the Danube. A whole world disappeared beneath the waters, which rose 30 meters upstream of Iron Gates 1. Fragments of it are preserved in constant hearing of the hum of the turbines.
So this is the museum of the hydro power station, and strangely there's an exhibition here dedicated to the island of Adakale. So here we are in the belly of the beast, if you like, and there's an exhibition dedicated to an island that was destroyed
by the hydropower station. Adakale, a taste of the Orient, of Turkish culture now lost beneath the waves. It was famous for its Turkish sweets, its pistachios, figs and pomegranates, for the tall cypress trees beside the minaret in the graveyard, for its Muslim saint and protector Mishkin Baba, and even for the tobacco factory. Its disappearance has left a hole in the heart of the Danube that no quantity of water can fill. Other people are sent into exile on islands. These two were sent into exile from it when Adakale was destroyed. Number 68. This is where Engor and his wife Miorara, some of the last survivors from the island of Adakale, live. I think they're expecting me.
Am părăsit insula Adakale la vârsta de 27 de ani.
Când am terminat liceul, nu m-a lăsat să stau vagabondă și m-am angajat la fabrica de țigări la insulă.
Eu am observat că a venit o fetiță frumoasă, blondă și la noi la Adakale și n-am mai știut cum să fac. Când ați sărutat-o prima dată pe doamna? Și am povestit. Am fost la un dans împreună și fiind îmbrățișați, am ieșit și afară, ne-am îmbrățișat și afară și imediat a urmat primul sărut.
Tango ne plăcea cel mai mult și mie și lui. Da. Stăteam îmbrățișați, ne mai vorbeam la ureche, mai ne sărutam și așa ne-am împrietenit mai ca lumea.
They and others I've met who once lived on this island still dream that they're walking on the streets and everything still is as it once was.
Eu în Orșova am fost angajat la un restaurant, cafegiu. Și de la restaurant m-au trimis și la primărie la o recepție cu primul ministru al țării, a fost o ședință mare și am servit cafea. Atunci s-a întâmplat episodul ăsta că prim-ministru era domnul Manea Mănescu, a spus că dacă nu vor ca să părăsească locuințele, dăm drumul la apă peste ei și pleacă ca șobolanii. N-au încotro.
How did you feel in your heart when you overheard that conversation? Were you angry? Were you sad? Did you want to throw the coffee in their faces? How did you feel when you heard that?
Puteam să fac, am înghițit în sec. Asta e, n-ai ce face, nu poți să... Nici acum nu mai poți să faci nimica. Tot aia e. Tot e, ce vor aia face. Nu e.
What was Adakale? What did it mean to you both?
Pentru mine a fost parcă aș fi pierdut pe cineva drag când s-a demolat insula. Atât de mult mi-a plăcut mie acolo. A fost ceva ca în vise, dar fructele de pe insulă, fructe, flori, trandafirii de pe insulă, se făcea dulceață de trandafiri. Parfumurile alea plăcute, era ceva de vis. Câteodată stăm amândoi când bem cafeaua și ne mai aducem aminte. Dar ăla cine era, dar al cui era copilul ăla, dar ne uităm și pe poze și ne aducem aminte. Și el îmi spune, păi era alucutare, da.
Probabil că tot cu aparatul meu de fotografiat m-a pozat cineva și pe mine aici. E de la mănăstire, se vede locul unde a fost insula Adakale.
3? Okay. I don't think we should take them all. We should leave some here. Save. Frumos.
Armed with flowers from his courtyard, I've agreed to take Engor out on the river to pay his respects to his former home. Those who once lived there, or even those who were lucky enough to visit the island once in their lives, keep the memory of Adakale alive.
Ultima clipă, când am plecat către insulă, mi-am luat cu mine 2 sticle de vin. O sticlă am dat la militari care m-au trecut Dunărea cu autoamfibia și unul a rămas la mine pe care l-am băut și m-am cam îmbătat. M-am dus în curtea casei unde se dărâma și am băut-o singur și am plâns.
Putem merge să vedem Adakaleul?
Ja. Okay. Adakale, please.
Seni unutmayacağız.
The chill waters of the Danube cool the emotions, a good place to reflect on the winners and losers of what we call civilization, on what is still wild in this world and what has been tamed. Tourism is the big winner of the transformation of the Danube into a storage lake. My old friend Doru runs this guest house on the shore, Staua Dunari, the star of the Danube. A constant flow of grateful guests from far and wide keeps his business afloat.
Where did you get the idea to start a bed and breakfast place on the shore of the river? I guess this lake, this huge storage lake, did it create possibilities for tourism?
Pentru că înainte de Revoluție, noi, localnicii din împrejurim, veneam în weekend cu cortul, campam aici și petreceam un weekend deosebit în mijlocul naturii. Și după Revoluție, când ni s-a permis să construim în zonă, am zis de ce să nu aducem turiști să beneficieze, să bucure de frumusețile naturii. Tot ceea ce vedeți dumneavoastră aici s-au construit după anul 1990.
Decibel was the king of the Dacians, a tribe Roman historians described as their bravest opponents. A Romanian businessman paid for his image to be carved into the rock here. But the Serbs on the far bank turned down his suggestion to carve Trajan's image, glaring across at Decibel from their own side. They have more recent heroes of their own.
When did you come here?
Când am venit eu, în 1971, dar nu chiar aici, puțin mai jos, la 15 km, în Orșova. Mi-aduc aminte că în vara anului 1971 încă mergeam cu tata la vânătoare de păsări pe câmpia din Orșova, locul care acum este acoperit tot cu apă, deoarece în 1972, când s-a terminat construcția barajului, nivelul Dunării a crescut cu 40 de metri și a înghițit tot ce a fost din Orșova veche.
close enough.
This is the Star of Danube, my pension. This is the first pension to build in this area after the revolution.
Great.
Okay. Oh, easy, 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 easy.
And Dora, this is your son, Catalin.
Yeah.
And so it's a family business.
Yes, we work in the family.
Yes.
My wife is in the kitchen.
Right.
Yes.
I
My
do the
son
boat tours.
to the boat.
You do
I
the
take
boats?
care of the tourists
Yeah.
on the water.
Okay.
Water
But-
sports, boat tours.
But you didn't catch this one.
Actually, we caught it yesterday.
Okay.
It's fresh fish. It's a catfish. It's a local fish. Now we're going to cook like a local recipe.
Very good.
Nick, you need the protection. Okay. Please.
I don't think I've ever worn one of these. It looks like a pretty serious.
Mamma mia. And when it's prepared, we have enough time to drink a short kicit palinka.
Palinka,
Palinka,
a brandy.
palinka. Suica de smochina.
From figs?
From figs.
Smochina.
Smochina. Yes. It's very, very good. It's local from this area.
That's
really
good. Excellent. Great.
Strong, not too strong.
Not too strong, but
50 degree.
You're planning to stay here. You've got no plans of going anywhere else.
For now, I'm traveling a lot. Really gather a lot of experience to meet other cultures and see how people act and behave in other societies. And in the end, of course, I'm going to come home and develop everything here, develop the business. This is the place where I grew up, and this is the place that gave me the best memories.
Part of my journey up the river, one of the big themes on the journey is I'm searching for the lost heart of Europe. What makes the kindness in people, the goodness in people?
The first is hospitality.
Yeah.
Because the Romanian people, it's with warm. Yes.
With a big heart.
Big heart. We like food, good food. We like good wine, good drink, and palinka, and tsuika. Yes. And the music.
I think that the thing that makes this whole place special, and that this is also very special for the tourists, is the Danube. It just brings everybody together, like from Germany, from Austria, from Hungary, people who love
Serbia,
nature and love fish and good food. I think we share the same culture. It's like the Danube culture.
Really?
It's what brings us together.
Your health. Thank you very much.
I thank you.
The iron gates are always open now. The iron curtain, which once divided Europe, is no more. New barriers between people sometimes appear, then disappear in the mist. I imagine this river gorge as the narrow passageway from southern to central Europe. This knuckle of land has been fought over by armies since ancient times. One culture overlapped another like the waters of the Danube, and streams tumbled into it from both sides. While some people adapt to change, others explore the old ways, hoping to find themselves in the past. But the Danube washes away the pain, heals the wounds. The music helps. So does looking down on it all from above. The iron gates, where the river cleaves its path between Romania on one side and Serbia on the other. According to legend, Hercules pushed these rocks apart. For centuries, ships were wrecked on the rocks here, and armies were ambushed. Then the iron gates dams were built and the gates were opened forever. The water level rose 30 meters. The river became a lake.
This is the Tabula Traiana, the place where Trajan, the plaque which he had erected to commemorate the building of a road and the Roman conquest of the iron gates here. This plaque actually used to stand 30 meters below where I am here on the shore of the river, but when it was flooded by the Iron Gates Dam, the river level rose, this storage lake rose 30 meters high, and so they moved the plaque right up so that it would not be lost.
The shore of the Danube is thick with fortresses. Whoever controlled the Danube controlled the entire region. The castles changed hands many times, as often for gold or wedding gifts as by force of arms. When I last visited Golubac, it was a ruin. Now it's been renovated to be besieged by the new superpower in the Balkans, tourists. They're here to be entertained by so-called tradition keepers. It may seem like child's play, but it gives me a chance to ask a question on my mind since the Balkan Wars of the 1990s. Are Serbs really so warlike?
This hand here, elbow is up, and you are
Okay.
and push
right.
it
Okay.
and
I'm
pulling
gonna pull it right
in
back.
the same time, and
Yeah.
just a little bit go down
Yeah.
like that, and it just. Oh,
Nice.
great!
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
That was great.
Okay.
This is the first time.
This is the first time. Hi.
Oh, hello.
Nick.
Dobry.
Why are you dressed like this?
Well, this outfit on me, it's actually a replica of medieval armor from 14th century from Serbia, and we choose to reenact the period from 14th and 15th century because that was the brightest moments in our history.
The most heroic.
Yeah, most heroic, and at that time Serbia was defending the Europe from Muslims, from Ottomans.
How much is this, linked to you being a Serb, a fighting nation with a history of war? I guess all nations have a history of war, but...
Yeah, of course, but living in Serbia, well, living on Balkans, you are in war in any time of your life.
You look like a warrior, even
yeah,
without
well,
the...
I look like a chef, but still living like that kind of life, you have to be prepared.
What have you got here that I could wear?
For you, we have this tunic.
Okay.
This is the tunic from the findings from the late 14th century.
Is it my size?
It is.
So, the swords.
We have also maces, but mace it's strictly for brutal force.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be a fine weapon for noble like you are. And maybe something under the table. Like this.
So what's the idea, man?
It's time to walk the walk.
Okay, good.
No. So you have to be really fast to attack and go back. Attack, go back. Attack, go back. So everything it's allowed without hitting in the head.
So you can hit down too?
Yeah, of course, of course.
But not the head?
Not the head, because you're a really important guy and I'm not gonna hit you in the head. You have to be pretty.
I need a break.
You need a break? Okay.
And then I'd be worried about all the people watching, but in fact, In the heat of battle, you forget quite fast that there's anyone here. It was just me and Dobry and the castle, and our lives, I guess. As a reporter in this region, I covered some of the wars around the breakup of Yugoslavia, and something I noticed, really, that was, I think, for the men fighting on different sides, actually, those were probably the best days of their lives, because, strangely, they were fighting for something. Their life had a meaning.
Those wars were so stupid. Me as a Serb, I'm born at that time. I changed 4 countries and I didn't move from my home. And on the end, we are the same people. I wanted to my daughter, and my kids are growing up in Serbia. I definitely want to my kids learning Serbian history, Serbian tradition after everything. And I'm gonna learn them that on the end, all of people are friends. There is no enemies. There is different opinions, different politics, but humans are humans.
The Danube speaks its own language. It speaks in colours. Beneath the castle of Ram, it's silver. Here, Zika, a third-generation ferryman, lives and works. Wars have come and gone, but his family have continued cutting black lines across the Silver River with their ships of souls.
Znači, najveća porodično bogatstvo, najveća porodična investicija su deca i unuci, i da nastavim tu tradiciju porodičnog, zanatskog, privrednog biznisa koje su oni radili. I evo od 1985. godine i do dan danas radim iste poslove sa kojima su se bavili i moji preci, odnosno moj otac i moj deda. Onaj koji treba da nastavi našu porodičnu tradiciju, to je ovaj najmlađi, i nadam se da će i oni uspešno da nastave tu tradiciju poslovanja koje je davne 1920. godine započeo moj deda.
In exchange for a bit of help packing wood, he agreed to take me on his ship of souls to the far side.
Jedan pored drugog, dva napred. Znači, osjećanja su veoma duboka i veoma povezan. Ja sam dobio taj nadimak Žika Skeleđija, što mi je veoma drago, jer samim tim ulazite u neku legendu svih brodara koji na ovim prostorima žive i rade.
Žika was just asking them to move the truck loaded with wood a bit further forward to get the balance better. It was too much towards the back, the stern of the boat, and he was worried about the dynamics of the ferry. But now he's moved it forward, they're putting it back, and we can set out across the Danube now.
Tu nema nešto mnogo hrabrosti, jednostavno procenite da je veća opasnost nego korist i vi da bi zaštitili i sebe i posao i putnike morate da prestanete sa radom. Da je moj stric se udavio prilikom prelaska reke 1953. godine prevozići par putnika, 6-7, da se svi podavili, upravo iz razloga prevelike hrabrosti. Još je bio izuzetan plivač, armijski prvak, ali je prenebregnuo činjenicu da se uvek u datom momentu nešto može desiti, pa su uplašeni putnici počeli da na tom malom čamcu, ne ovako velike skelama, to su bili mali čamci, da se nekontrolisano kreću, on se prevrnuo i podavili su se svi.
What's this coming up out of the river here?
It's the floated barge.
It's a barge.
Yeah, it's a flooding. They use a full with the sand, gravel, and during night the cruiser ship was passing nearby.
Yeah.
And he produced the really big waves, and the big waves enter inside, and the barge is flipped over.
Wow.
To je jedna očigledno velika opomena za sve nas da uvek moramo koliko god voleli i želeli i na neki način drugovali sa našim Dunavom, moramo da ga respektujemo. To je jedna velika snaga, velika drevna mogućnost da vam i doprinese da imate korist, ali i da vas kazni ako budete nesmotreni.
Over many years travelling up and down this river, I've tried to persuade ferrymen to speak, but they almost always refuse. Perhaps the symbolism of their job is the reason, ferrying men and women from this life to the other world on the far bank for a few coins. Žika is a rare exception.
Što ste, gospodine Dik, rekli da ste putovali Dunavom i gore i dole. Ja, nažalost, nisam. Ali sam putovao ovde u granicama Srbije. Moja životna želja da nakon 70. godine, kada zvanično odem u penziju i predam sljedećim generacijama, da svojim brodićem odem do delte Dunava i odem gore do izvorišta. To je moja životna želja i nadam se da ću je sačekati. Što se tiče obala, gde je obala živih, obala mrtvih, za mene su obale živih. Ne dao Bog da budu obale mrtvih. Ja gledam jednu i drugu obalu, da pođem sa živima i da stignem sa živima. Ne posmatram u kontekstu bilo koga da može da strada u tom putu. Zato po meni nema obale mrtvih.
Talking to Žika reminded me just how many astonishing stories of human resourcefulness and endurance can be found in every bend of this old river. But it's not only the individual stories. Lurking half-submerged beneath the waters on this section of the river are the traces of great civilizations which help shape the course of human history. Did they look out every morning at the same rocks? To find out, I must visit the most peculiar building on the whole Danube, a strange glass cage, a greenhouse of the gods. Beneath the glass lie the remains of the late Neolithic site of Lepenski Vir. Unearthed in the 1960s, it had to be recreated further up the bank when the river rose because of the dam. From 7000 to 4000 BC, people lived here undisturbed, fishing and trading and mixing with migrants, making their way up the Danube. They carved these strange gods, half fish, half human, unique on earth. Made of quartz sandstone, each was placed beside the hearth of the houses. Archaeologists gave them names: Foremother, Progenitor, Danubius. They gaze right through or over us. The director of the site, Vladimir Nojkovic, showed me around.
It looks good. You go first.
Yeah, on my risk, yeah. Okay, so based on what they found here, we know for sure that the construction of the house was similar to tent shape, let's say.
And facing always with the entrance towards the river, towards the Danube.
Towards the Danube, but towards the east side, which was very important also.
The east, to have the sunrise.
Yeah, so the first early morning sun goes directly into the houses.
Lepenski Vir is the earliest planned human settlement in Europe. On that, everyone agrees. But who these people were and what they believed is pure mystery.
These are fish faces with the mouth kind of
reminds you about
down the catfish, I guess.
Beluga,
rather
sturgeons. Yeah. If you pull up the sturgeon, you will see the similar shape of the mouth. Yeah, it was obviously for them the water was source of life, source of survival on this location. Sturgeons were coming here to leave the eggs from the Black Sea and stuff like that. So we can say today that maybe they even eat caviar in that time, or ate caviar.
Hanging out in this Danubian Atlantis, feasting on caviar, kept company by fish gods, it's little wonder that they stayed here so long. I trekked up into the mountains above Lepenski Vir, into the forests where the Lepanians must have hunted red deer and wild boar. At the headwaters of the stream, the thick undergrowth gives way to an enchanted land of mulberries and waterfalls. Serbian legends suggest this place is infested with fairies and other friendly creatures. After a few hours in these mountains, I found another stray soul, Maja Tufonic-Pavlovic. She's probably one of the last people in these mountains who still knows how to wash gold, unperturbed by the fact that this was traditionally a male occupation.
It's a men's job.
It's a men's job. Why is that? Women don't like to do it, or they're not allowed to?
For women, it was always in this area forbidden to go fishing,
Really?
to doing something.
That's not very fair.
It's not.
No.
It's changing. You know, we have one of the biggest copper and gold mines in Europe. They needed a lot of workers, so women started to work. Socialistic period, it was very important to employ women.
Yes. So I just add some water to it, yeah?
Add some,
a little bit,
yes.
or not very much?
Just a little bit, and just shake it again.
What's the biggest piece you ever found, Maja?
Me,
Yeah.
I must tell you, only 1 gram.
1 gram, really?
Yes.
But you don't.
Very, very small.
But you don't spend all your life looking.
No,
No.
no. In our rivers, especially in the river Pek, is really pure gold, 22 carats. So that's the purest gold.
And
I must help you because
yeah. I think you're going to be quicker at it.
It will get dark until the end.
We followed the River Pek underground, where its water carved out a huge system of caves, stretching all the way to the Danube. Does this cave complex, could one walk through to the Danube here? Have you ever tried?
No. Still no, we tried every year. We're trying to find that new channels because we have a legend about some robbery, Rajko. That's why this cave has that name.
He was a brigand or a hero, a robber or a hero?
Yes, local hero. He lived 200 years ago. He robbed passengers and entered in his cave, his white cave, somewhere close to the town, and went out somewhere where the Danube is, and reverse.
So that was his escape route, in a way?
Yes.
And they never caught him?
No, because he disappeared. If someday will find that drawing hand like this with 4 fingers, there is the entrance of a room full of gold.
So his treasure may still be here?
Maybe.
It takes a very long time for one of these stalactites to grow. How long?
It's very slow process. Creating of one form, it needs exactly for 1 centimeter at least 300 years. So around us we have beautiful forms, but they are thousands and thousands years old.
Maybe we could listen to the silence for a moment, and then I wonder if you, after a little while of silence, would you be willing to sing something for us, because the acoustics here are marvelous.
I will try. I didn't sing a long time, but I remember one very old song, Serbian song, but I will try. Jutros mi je ruža procvetala, ružu gledam pa sam zaplakala, Ružo moja, mlado sam ti dala, za mog dragog sve sam tebi dala.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
Not everyone wants to rely on pure luck to find gold to survive hard times. Like alchemists, charcoal burners turn wood to gold in their smoking domes, dotted along the shore where the river meets the Danube. But their treasure isn't heavy, it's light.
This is the first smoking charcoal burner's kiln I've seen. I've been travelling up and down this river valley, and all the other ones are just still, but this one, at last I found a smoking one.
There used to be a big demand from local homes and restaurants where people love to cook meat or fish on charcoal. But the tradition is fading away as tougher nature protection regulations make it harder to cut the beech or willow they need. Many have quit to find another way of living. Biljana's family adapted successfully to the changing times. Over a coffee or something stronger, we discuss the soft and rough edges of the old and the new.
To je moj tata, moja
Your father?
baba I
Your
moja
grandfather
mama.
And your mother? Wow. And so from your father you learned to make the charcoal?
Da, od tate sam nasledio da napravim čumur I tako.
As a dynasty of charcoal burners going back generations, it wasn't easy for them to exchange their precious black soot for milk. Now they produce organic milk and cheese, supplying local communities.
They're sisters?
Sestre bliźniakinje.
Hello. It's a one big family, or several big families.
Mother and daughters and sisters.
Yes.
Breza? Ne, ali miriši na čisto, znaš, ne...
Yeah, it smells good.
Zašto to mi je bilo zadovoljstvo, to od mladosti sam radila sa čumur od 19-20 godine. To sa čumur smo radili I bilo para, I uđe u srce, a I ovo volim. Ali volim krave, ali ono još bolje.
Beautiful.
No. It's organic because dođe muve. Da ne bi bilo organsko, ne bi došla ni jedna muva.
It's very good.
Roditelji su se penzionisali I nismo više u toj mogućnosti da to radimo. I zato smo se opredelili u mlečno govedarstvo, zato što živimo u ovom kraju gde je sve organsko, gde nemamo jako razvijenu industriju, infrastrukturu I to nam daje prednost da ka proizvodnji organske hrane. Kako je bistra I čista voda, dobro se tiče.
So this is where your family burned charcoal, created charcoal.
7 dana ugljenisanja I procesa proizvodnje. 7 dana. Nakon toga 7 dana se gasi se vatra. Znači gasi se, gubi se kiseonik. Nema kiseonik, nema vatre, nema ničega.
Look at that.
Profesor poljoprivrednog fakulteta kaže, mislim što je činjenica I tačnost, da ugalj sadrži pozitivne mikroorganizme. Možete, ako pijete malo više, uzmete, progutate.
You're eating it. I think I'm going to taste it as well. Hang on.
Ne mnogo, malo. Nemate alkohola.
Malo.
Da, malo.
Just a small piece.
Da.
And if you've drunk 2 rakias?
Ja, retko kad.
Just one rakia.
Da.
It would, one brandy, it would disguise.
Prljavo pade. To je prljavo, ali od toga
Dusty business.
To je crno zlato. Black gold.
Black gold,
Charcoal is so precious because it burns at such a high temperature. Whole forests were cut down to make iron and steel. But with enough rainwater, the trees grow back. But what about the people lost in the wars? Nothing will bring them back. Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, owes its power and beauty to the confluence of the Sava and Danube rivers. But on this visit, the rain and the fog matched my darker memories. As a reporter in the city when NATO planes rained missiles, and I stood at my hotel window as explosions lit up the night sky and the city shook. In 1999, NATO bombed Yugoslavia, including the capital, Belgrade, for 78 days. The targets were announced in advance, military and infrastructure. So were the reasons to end President Slobodan Milosevic's military actions in Kosovo. But hundreds of Serb civilians were killed too. Now only the rain falls on this city, and it's safe to drive through town with an ex-soldier. I wonder how his memories contrast with mine.
What did you think when you heard that the television station, the main TV station, public service station, had been bombed here in Belgrade?
The first thing a regular man can think is only one, I think. Why? Why would anybody do that? Why is this a legit military target?
Mio, you were actually watching television at the moment this TV station was attacked.
Yes, it just goes dark, just goes black. But
the screen went black?
Yeah, but in that time it was usual because the electricity went on and off every day almost on daily basis. So 18 people died at the moment of blast. 18 people died, and I think 18 more got seriously injured, and they were all side jobs for staff. There were no reporters. Yeah, technician guys, makeup guys, doing their job for inform the people of Serbia what happened in Belgrade and the rest of the country that day. So it really gave us bad taste in the mouth and in the heart and in the minds and everything.
It's a kind of monument to the war, or are they going to fix it?
Staying like this, I don't know. It can be watched in two ways. It should stay like this, or definitely we can move on, but never forget.
NATO officials said the television was a legitimate target, part of the Serbian command and control network and central to its propaganda. That they warned them of the impending attack and chose a time, 2 a.m, when it should have been empty. Mio was called up to serve in the Serbian army. While some conscripts fled the country and others made excuses, he went.
Coming back to the 99, you were serving on the Bulgarian border and you were sent there ready to defend your country against a possible land attack, but your family were here. Your parents, your sisters?
I think at the moment we were more considerate about them back here.
More worried about your families back in the capital.
That's right. Pretty hard time for everybody, for them here, because they were worried about us, and there were no mobile cell phones that we could, just text, call, say, I'm okay, don't worry. No.
So how did you get messages to your family?
Letters.
Letters,
yes.
So the postal service kept working?
Yeah. I remember one time I got 7 letters in the army and I was so happy. 7 letters, wow. 7 people thought of me.
The army, the police and Serbian paramilitaries committed war crimes in Kosovo against ethnic Albanians, just as crimes were committed against them. The NATO bombing forced the Serbs to withdraw, and Kosovo became an independent state. But before I leave Belgrade, I have some unfinished business. I'm going to meet the man who publicly sentenced me to death. At the time of the NATO bombing, Miki Vujovic ran a TV station called Palma. On the first night of the bombing, he put up a photo of me and an American journalist and told viewers to kill us as enemy reporters. I'm meeting him in the Hyatt, from where I and other journalists were reporting the conflict.
Hi, my friend. Welcome.
Drago mi je. Miodrag, thank you very much for meeting me today.
No, with really pleasure.
What language shall we speak, English or Serbian?
Serbian, of course, because I don't like foreign language. Posle prve bombe otišao sam u studio, u moju televiziju i obratio se svojim gledaocima i rekao sam im dosta toga, pogotovo o bračnom paru Clinton. Veruj mi da ti ne želim da dođeš u situaciju pa da se uveriš da je u tom slučaju teško da spavaš. A siguran sam kad bi došao u tu situaciju da bi ti našao snage da uradiš sve ono što misliš da treba da uradiš za svoje gledaoce.
So do you remember showing the image of me or any other journalists that night on your screen?
Moguće je da sam tada prikazao i deo snimka iz jednog hotela u Beogradu. Priznajem, imao sam veoma loše mišljenje o vama. Iz jednog jedinog razloga, izvinjavam se što sam skrenuo pogled jer mi je teško i da se setim toga. Iz jednog jedinog razloga, pošto sam u startu video da vas ne interesuje istina i da su vas poslali ovde da širite laži, a ne da kažete šta se dešava.
He cannot find, he says, the screenshot of me from his channel. But the same day as his broadcast, an infamous Serbian paramilitary leader, Arkan, held responsible for the murder of many civilians in Kosovo, Bosnia and Croatia, started rounding up reporters in this hotel at gunpoint. And I escaped.
I da je tako bilo i da vas je pronašao tamo, on bi se samo sa vama šalio, na grub način, ali šalio. Realne opasnosti ne verujem, u stvari siguran sam da ne bi bilo. Jer, znate, ratište je ratište.
After this surreal encounter, the only thing to do, in typical Serbian style, was to try to wash it all away with a drink. Mickey suggested one of his favourite bars, shaped like a train wagon and modelled on Victoria Station in London.
This is new modern part of Wagon Victory for young people.
Živjeli.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is my favourite place in New Belgrade.
It's a railway carriage.
Yes, like Victoria Station in London. We make Victoria Station in Belgrade. English people put bomb to us. Logic, Western part.
Where is the heart of Europe for you?
Oh.
Here.
No. If you don't believe, please. Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, Mađarska, Austrija, Njemačka, pola Francuske, pola Italije, everything is Serbia.
Everything is Serbia?
Yes,
all of Europe is Serbia?
With different name, but it's Serbia. Do you know who is Etrurci?
The Etruscans, yes.
Do you know?
Serbs, probably.
Yeah, no, probably, sure.
Sure.
Sure, my friend.
I can't help thinking that if I had been hurt then, he would explain it away now to someone else. I'm not a judge to condemn, but I have to report not just the facts, but my fears as well, based on what I have seen, where all this can lead. Next stop, north from Belgrade to Novi Sad. Serbia's second city also lost its bridges, which have now been rebuilt. There's a lighter feel here, less heavy history than the capital. more young people and lots of babies. Novi Sad is the rock capital of Serbia. From the 1960s, radio stations here broadcast the latest Western bands to the youth of Eastern Europe, and spawned local bands too, like the Love Hunters.
What they will say to me, I mustn't tell, 'cause it really is.
They're not exactly political, but there's a certain irony in their songs which reflects both the love and the squalor of the old Yugoslavia. Their frontman, Milan Mumin, suggested we meet in his barber's shop to get to know each other a little closer.
Dobar dan. Dobar dan. Samo malo.
Dobro. Eto, baš kad ne treba. Komšija kasnije. It's okay?
Okay. So, were you here in '99 at the time of the NATO bombing?
Yeah, I was here.
You were here then?
Exactly. The most terrible bombing was at the Jackal bridge.
So people had been warned, don't cross them because
exactly.
NATO might destroy them.
People was always warned.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off on our leadership and on our government at that moment.
But did you think of my country, Britain, for example, as an enemy? You must have felt pretty angry, though. No?
But not on other countries.
No. I guess the war in Yugoslavia, there's some people feel it was, I was here as a journalist for some of those wars, and I guess I always felt that there was something suicidal about it. That the country, Yugoslavia, was committing suicide. But of course, some people think it was being killed from outside, but the other view is that it was tearing itself apart.
Of course, tearing itself. I'm not that, conspiracy theorist at all, since I was the last generation of great Yugoslav army, and I served in Split, in Croatia.
Yeah.
The very last generation of Navy. Mm-hmm. It was very heartbreaking for me to see that kind of things in Croatia, later on in Bosnia, later on in Kosovo.
Yeah.
I have bunch of great friends, Muslims, Croatians, Albanians, since I served,
in the army.
Last mixed up army.
Yeah.
And it was great memory for me, but also brings out that, weird and painful memories. And Nick, what do you think about the Brexit thing, UK?
It's not the end of the world, but I'm not very
course.
happy with it. I mean, I wouldn't want to walk into a pub and ask for half a litre of beer, I want to ask for a pint of beer, but I think we could have kept the pint
Even
and
like
stayed
pint.
in Europe. Yeah.
Remember when my life started burned, always try to find a reason why I live on this earth, why I am the chosen one. I'm your little suicider, I'm everything what you didn't want. Yes, it's me. Don't worry, I will set you free.
Živeli.
So the band, how have you been together a long time? Yeah.
We made the band in...
The three of you, yes. 30 years?
30
Wow.
More. We made the band in 1987 originally.
Oh, right. And it was called Love Hunters from the beginning?
Yes. In 1987 was Love Hunters. Before I have a couple of bands, but...
So you've all been hunting love that long?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So here we are in Novi Sad, but why do you sing in English then?
Yeah. No, I was always considered English as a rock and roll language kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like French is for chansona, Italian for canzona, German for porno movies.
Yes.
That kind of thing, you know. So English is for rock and roll.
But what they will say to me, I mustn't tell, because it really is true. I mustn't tell, because it really is true. Ba-da-da-da-da-da! Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Oh, ba-da-da-da-da-da! Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da! Ba-da-da-da-da-da! 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 Ba-da-da-da-da-da!
The bombing of Belgrade was foreshadowed by other wars in Croatia and Bosnia as Yugoslavia fell apart in the 1990s. These cliffs in Vukovar on the Danube in Croatia show traces of volcanic eruptions from thousands of years ago. But the siege of the city was a man-made disaster. It lasted 87 days, the first town destroyed in Europe since the Second World War. This water tower provided target practice for Serbian gunners. It's been left more or less as it was. Just outside town, in a small hangar, I found the Borovo Flying Club. Its members are all veterans of the Yugoslav Air Force who declared allegiance to Croatia when war broke out. Some people find solace swimming in the Danube, others flying above her. Velimir Molnar took me up into his world.
Normalno da je lijep osjećaj letiti tu iznad rodnog pejzaža, znači sam odrastao, ja sam tu rođen, odrastao i poznajem te ljude, poznajem što kaže svako drvo, svaku krivinu. Kupao sam se na Dunavu, plovio Dunavom, sam ostavio na aerodromu, ja sam od 74. godine se bavio padobranstvom, jumping parašutinga iz 74. godine. Jel? I kasnije sam se školovao za pilota, letio na jedrilicama, letio na avionima i završio za instruktora letenja, jel, i tako, eto. Uglavnom, to sam sve obavio još za vrijeme Jugoslavije, jel. A ovdje, ovaj klub je bio jedan od najjačih klubova u Jugoslaviji. Inače, avion, u ovome aeroklubu je postojalo 4 aviona prije ovog Domovinskog rata i 5 jedrilica, jel. Ovaj avion je slučajem sticajem okolnosti preživio što je bio u Osijeku, jel?
Such a simple design, but so elegant.
Iz nagib u desno, jel? Onda dajemo, tamo se podiže, znači stvara se uzgon, znači podiže se nos aviona i 10 godina malte ne, to se izgradilo. Inače, kad su se mi vratili u Vukovar, to je sve još bilo ruševno, ljudi su živjeli, sve je bilo u korovu, u travi, ljudi su živjeli, stakla nije bilo na prozorima, najloni i tako. Jako su teško ljudi živjeli. Kad smo se mi vratili, to se sve oporavilo, izgradilo, jel, i tako.
Such a beautiful machine. Liep. I've travelled upriver in many different forms of transport on this journey. This is the first time I've flown over the river like a bird. Also to be flying over a city that suffered such a terrible siege, to see how much this city has been rebuilt in the last 21 years.
In the air, no borders exist between nations. Towns and villages dwindle in importance. Human ingenuity in learning to fly and, above all, not crashing seems marvelous. The floodplains and great wetland forests at Kopacki Rit mark the point where the Drava River flows into the Danube. Towards the north, where my journey continues.